Hello students. So now this is the part 3 video of the first unit, the basic laws and concepts of the basic concepts and laws of thermodynamics. So in this class, in this revision class, we will discuss some of the previous year problems. So first we'll discuss the one problem that is asked in April May 2017, 6 marks. A piston cylinder containing air. So one piston cylinder arrangement is there, it contains air and it is expanding at a constant pressure of 150 kilopascal from the temperature 285 Kelvin to temperature of 550 Kelvin. So and the mass of air is 0.05 kg, and determine the heat transfer, work transfer and change in internal energy during the process. So we have to take Cp as 1.01 kilojoule per kg Kelvin and Cv as 0.72 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So from this problem we can collect that the given data, he is given pressure is equal to 150 kilopascal, so that we have to convert into Newton per meter square, that is a 150 kilonewton per meter square. So T1 is equal to 285 Kelvin and T2 is equal to 550 Kelvin, and mass is equal to 0.05 kg, and Cp is equal to 1.01 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Cv is equal to 0.72 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So kilopascal to kilonewton, so 1 pascal is equal to, so P is equal to 150 kilopascal, 150 kilonewton per meter square, that is 1 pascal is equal to 1 newton per meter square. So now first we'll determine the heat transfer. So heat transfer is given by Q1 to 2 is equal to m, that is a mass of Cp, specific heat at constant pressure, T2 minus T1. So m is 0.05 kg and Cp, that is a specific heat at constant pressure, is 1.01, T2 is 550 minus 285. So if you solve this, we'll get the heat transfer as 13.38 kilojoule. So next, change in internal energy. So this is given by U2, capital U2 minus U1 is equal to m, that is a mass into specific heat at constant volume, T2 minus T1. So mass, that is U2 minus U1 is equal to mass 0.005, Cv, that is a specific heat at constant volume, is equal to 0.72, and T2 is 550 and T1 is 285. So after solving this, we will get, calculating this, the change in internal energy is equal to 9.54 kilojoule. So work transfer, that is a W1 to 2 is equal to Q1 to 2. Work transfer we can calculate Q, we know that heat transfer is equal to Q1 to 2 is equal to W1 to 2 plus change in internal energy. But here we have to find out the work transfer, that is a W1 to 2 is equal to, so heat transfer minus change in internal energy will give the work transfer, that is 13.38 is the heat transfer. Now minus 9.54 is the change in internal energy. So 13.38 minus 9.54 gives 3.84. So this is a what work transfer. So next, second, one more question. So this is the April May 2017 6 marks question. So another, the split of question is 4 marks. He is asked, determine the coefficient of performance and heat transfer rate in a condenser of a refrigerator in kilojoule per hour, whose refrigeration capacity is 11,000 kilojoule per hour. If the power input is 1.5 kilowatt, so here we have to find out the coefficient of performance. Here we can use the second law of thermodynamics. So he has given that heat transfer rate in a condenser is Q2 is equal to condenser, the heat transfer rate in a condenser is 11,000 kilojoule per hour. So work, that is a power input, that is a, whatever we are giving to the condenser is 1.5 kilowatt, that we have to convert into kilojoule per hour. So that joule per second is kilowatt. So for this 1.5 into 3600, that is per second, we have to convert into hour. So 1 hour is equal to 3600 second. So that we have to multiply 1.5 into 3600 it is converted into 5400 kilojoule per hour. So coefficient of performance of a refrigerator is given by COP is equal to Q2 divided by W, that is a heat transfer in a condenser of a refrigerator to the work input to the refrigeration capacity, that is 11,000 divided by 5400, it gives 2.037. So heat transfer rate is given by W is equal to Q1 minus Q2. So that we have to find out heat transfer rate Q1, we have to find out. He has given heat transfer rate in a condenser, that is a Q2. So heat is removing. So heat input, that is Q1. So heat transfer rate is nothing but W is equal to Q1 minus Q2. So Q1 is equal to, if you take Q2 this side, Q1 becomes W plus Q2. So 11,000 plus 5,400, it gives Q1 is equal to 16,400 kilojoule per hour. So this is for 4 marks. Here we have to remember the formula. Q2 by W is given is a COP, that is a coefficient performance of refrigerator, and W heat transfer rate is equal to Q1 minus Q2. Q1 is the heat transfer input to the refrigerator, Q2 is the heat transfer rate in the condenser that is coming out. So next we'll discuss one more question, that is a April May 2017 5 marks question. So here a vessel contains 6.5 meter cube of nitrogen. So V1 volume is given, that is a 6.5 meter cube of nitrogen. So nitrogen volume is 6.5 meter cube vessel. So under a pressure of 12 bar, that is a P1 he is given, and temperature of 40 degrees Celsius, that is a T1 40 degrees Celsius. So we have to convert that 40 degrees Celsius into Kelvin, that we have to add for T1 is equal to 40 plus 273 is equal to 313. So under a pressure of 12 bar and temperature 14. So what we have to find out mass of gas, that is M we have to find out, and specific volume, that is a small Vs, and density of gas, that is a rho. And we have to use here, what we have to use, the molecular weight of nitrogen as a 28. So molecular weight of nitrogen as a 28 we have to use here. So firstly the given data, V1 6.5 meter cube, P1 12 bar, that we have to convert it into Newton per meter square, that is a 12 bar is 12 into 10 raised to 5, so 10 raised to 3 Newton per meter square. So 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. So that if you convert it into 12 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per meter square, and molecular weight of nitrogen is 28, T1 is equal to 40 plus 273 313. The gas constant R we have to calculate here for calculating the mass. So R is equal to universal gas constant RU divided by molecular weight, that is universal gas constant value we know that 8314. So this is a standard value, we know that. So if you divide by molecular weight of nitrogen is 28, here Ru is the universal gas constant, that the value we know that 8314, it is a standard value we have to remember here. And molecular weight of nitrogen is 28, so 8314 divided by 28, it gives 297 joule for kg, that is the gas constant. So we know that from the characteristic gas equation, so P1 V1 is equal to mR T1. So what do we have to find out here? Mass we have to find out. So P1 is the inlet initial pressure, volume, initial volume, and that is a gas constant R, and T1. These values we know that. After filling all these values, that is M is equal to, if we simplify for M, so what the equation becomes, P1 V1 divided by M is equal to P1 V1 divided by RT1. You take this RT1 to the left side, so it becomes the divided by P1 V1 divided by RT1. Now fill the values of P1 V1 RT1. So P1 is a 12 into 10 raised to 3, V1 is a 6.5, and R is the 297, and T1 is the 313. So after calculating this, we'll get mass of gas as 83.9 kg. Next we'll find out specific volume of gas, that is a V1 divided by mass will gives, the specific volume is nothing but the volume per unit mass. So that's why we have to calculate specific volume V1 divided by m, that is a 6.5 divided by 83.9, so it gives 0.0775 meter cube kg. So density of gas rho is equal to 1 divided by Vs, so that is a reciprocal of specific volume gives the density of gas, so 1 divided by 0.0075, that is a Vs. Vs is nothing but specific volume. In the second step we have calculated, so 12.9 kg per meter cube. Now, so this is a one more that question, April May 2017, 5 marks it is asked. So next question we will discuss November December 2017. So here a steel vessel of mass of steel vessel is given, that a steel vessel of mass 1.75 kg contains 7 mass of steel vessel is 1.75 kg. So it is containing 7.25 kg of water. So mass of water is 7.2 kg at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. So water temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. Find the heat required to warm the vessel and water. So how much of heat we have to give to warm the vessel and water to 85 degrees Celsius, from 23 degrees Celsius to 85 degrees Celsius. Rise temperature, how much heat we have to give, and we have to take the specific heat of steel as 0.49 kilojoule per kg and specific heat of water as 4.187 kilojoule per kg. So what is the given data? Mass of steel vessel, that is ms, is equal to 1.75 kg and mass of water mw is equal to 7.25 kg. So here initial temperature of copper and water is T1 is equal to 23 degrees Celsius. Final temperature of copper and water, final temperature of steel and water. So here it is written as a copper. So make it correction. Initial temperature of steel, it is not a copper, so it is a mistake. Initial temperature of steel and water as T1 is equal to 23 again. Final temperature of steel, so instead of copper we are using here steel and water as T2 is equal to 85 degrees Celsius. So specific heat of steel CS is equal to 0.49 kilojoule per kg. Specific heat of water W is equal to 4.1. So heat required to warm the vessel is H1 is equal to mass of steel into specific heat of steel inside the bracket T2 minus T1, that is a 1.75 into 49.49 into 85.23. So if we calculate, we will get the values here. And heat required to warm the water is H2 is equal to mw. So for heat required, we have to warm the steel is we have to take the steel data, and heat required to warm the water we have to take the water data, that is mw, cw, T2 minus T1. So here mw is 6 point, the mass of water he has given here 7.25 kg into 4.187, that is the specific heat of water, and 85 minus 23, so we will get the heat required to warm the water. So total heat required to warm the vessel and warm water is, we have to add the heat required to warm the steel vessel and heat required to warm the water. So that is H1 plus H2. Next, one more that problem that has been asked for October November 2019, 5 marks. So it is repeated again for November December 2020. Here a domestic food freezer is to be maintained at a temperature of minus 15 degrees Celsius. So domestic food freezer, that is a food refrigerator or freezer. Freezer means it will freeze that food, it keeps food in a good condition, that is a like refrigerator. So it has to be maintained at a temperature of minus 15 degrees Celsius. Ambient air temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, so atmospheric air temperature. If heat leaks into the freezer at a continuous rate of heat leakage to the freezer is 1.75 kilojoule per second, find the power required to pump this heat out continuously if the So whatever that heat is leaking into the domestic freezer, that heat we have to pump out. So pump out. So to pump out that heat from that freezer, so what is the heat is required, that we have to calculate. And he has given the actual COP. If the actual COP is 1/3 of the theoretical COP, so this is the second law we can use here. So one food freezer is there whose temperature is maintained at minus 15 degrees Celsius, and ambient air temperature is at 30 degrees Celsius, and heat is leaking into the freezer at the continuous rate of 1.75 kilojoule per second. So what is find the power required to pump this heat out at a continuous if the actual COP is 1/3 of. So here freezer temperature, that is a T2. So freezer temperature is minus 15, so it is a sink. So T2 is minus 15 degrees Celsius plus 273, so it gives that degree Celsius we have to add it into Kelvin, that is a 250 Kelvin T2. Next, surrounding temperature, that is a T1. T1 is equal to 30 degrees Celsius, that is ambient temperature, plus 273 degrees Celsius to Kelvin, 303 Kelvin T1. So rate of heat leaks into the freezer, that is the heat absorbed from the freezer. So what is absorbing, that is QA is equal to 1.75 kilojoule per second. So coefficient of refrigerator is given by T2 divided by T1 minus T2. So that is a 258 minus 303 minus 258. So it gives 5.73. And the coefficient of refrigerator in terms of heat, that is a COP in terms of heat, is given by QA divided by QR minus QA. So we know that QA, but QR minus QA is a power input. So that is a coefficient of refrigerator is 5.73, and heat absorbed in freezer is 1.75, but we don't have the power input. So if you solve for power input, we will get 1.75 divided by 5.73, that will gives 0.305 kilowatt. So this is a, here what we have to remember is freezer is maintained at a low temperature, and its surrounding temperature is given, and heat leakage into the freezer is given, that is the absorption of heat in the freezer is given, and coefficient of performance we can calculate by the second of thermodynamics, that is a T2 divided by T1 minus T2. And coefficient of performance in terms of heat is given by what is the formula, we can use that in terms of heat is given by COP of refrigerator is equal to QA divided by QR minus heat rejected minus heat absorbed. So QR minus QA is nothing but the power input, so COP becomes QA divided by power input. So now we can calculate COP is, we have calculated 5.73, QA we don't know that 1.75, so we can calculate the power input. So one power input, that is a 0.305 kilowatt of power is required to pump out the heat from the refrigerator. So next, a vessel having a capacity of 3 meter cube contains air at a pressure of 1.5 bar. So it is November December 2018. Here a vessel is having a capacity, vessel capacity he is given, that is a 3 meter cube. It contains air at a pressure of 1.5 bar. So P1 he is given, that is a 1.5 bar, that you can convert it into 1.5 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. So that is a 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. And temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. So T1 is equal to 25 degrees Celsius, that is a 25 plus 273 is equal to 298. So that we have converted in degrees Celsius into Kelvin. Additional air is now pumped into the system. So we are pumping the some amount of additional air into the system until the pressure rises to 30 bar, that is a P2 is equal to 30 bar. That bar we can convert, P2 is equal to 30 into 10 raised to 5, you can see in the given data. And temperature rises to T2 is equal to 60 degrees Celsius, that we can convert it into 273, if you add to 60, 333 Kelvin it will come. So here what is we have to find out, determine the mass of air pumped. So yes, air, how much of air is pumped in, and express the quantity as a volume at a pressure of 1.2 bar and temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. So this is November December 2018. Here one vessel is there, that's capacity is 3 meter cube, and it is containing a pressure of 1.5, and it is contains a air. It is containing in that vessel air is there, that is at 1.5 bar, and it's that air temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. So now what we are, it was initially, again we are added some additional air into that system, so that that initial pressure rises to 30 bar and initial temperature rises to 60 degrees Celsius. So then what, after adding that additional air, so what is the mass of air pumped in, we have to calculate, and that we have to express as a volume at a pressure of, quantity as a volume as a at a pressure of 1.2 bar and temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. So this we have to find out. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ವೆಸಲ್ ಐತಿ, ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ 3 ಮೀಟರ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ಐತಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಏರ್ 1.5 ಬಾರ್, ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಈಸ್ 1.5 ಬಾರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ 25 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್. ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಅಡಿಷ್ನಲ್ ಏರ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಏನಾಕೈತಿ, ರೈಸ್ ಆಕೈತಿ. ಆ ರೈಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ ಏನು ಪಂಪ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೇವಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಎ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವಾಗಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ 1.2 ಬಾರ್ ಮತ್ತು 20 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇರ್ತೈತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಡಾಟಾ V1 3 meter cube, that what you can initial capacity, initial volume of vessel, P1 is the initial air pressure, that is 1.5 bar, that we have converted into 1.5 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. T1 is equal to 25 degrees Celsius, so it is the initial temperature, that is 25 degrees Celsius, that we have to convert it into Kelvin. So 25 degrees Celsius plus 273 is equal to 298 Kelvin. Next, this is a initial vessel conditions, initial vessel and air conditions. So after adding additional air, so P2, the pressure becomes P2 is equal to 30 bar, you can observe there 30 bar, 30 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square, and temperature becomes 60 degrees Celsius, that we have to convert it into Kelvin. 60 degrees Celsius plus 273 is equal to 333 Kelvin. So next, then we have to calculate the what mass of air is required. So we know that the characteristic gas equation P1 is equal to M1 R T1. So M1 R T1, this is the initial mass of air. We can, from this M1 we can calculate that the initial when vessel and air is there without adding any additional air to that. So what will happen there? So M1 is equal to, if you solve for M1, that you take that RT1 to the LHS, it becomes divided by P1 V1 divided by RT1. So M1 is equal to P1 V1 divided by RT1, that is equal to 1.5 into 10 raised to 5 into 3. So 3 is the V1 and 1.5 into the P1. R is the 287, its value is there. Initial it is a standard value, it is a gas constant value, and T1 is the 298 Kelvin. So after calculating we get 5.26 kg. So this will get. So also P2 V2, that is after adding additional air we have to calculate M2. So if you arrange for M2 and take RT2 this side, LHS side, it becomes M2 is equal to P2 V2 divided by RT2. So M2 is equal to 30 into 10 raised to 5 into 3, so divided by 287 into 333, that is the temperature. So M2 will get 94 minus 17 kg. So mass of air pumped, that is the after additional air pumped is the M2. Initial air mass of air was M1. So mass of air pumped is M is equal to M2 minus M1, that is a 94.17 minus 526 is equal to 88.91 is the mass of air pumped. So M is equal to 88.91. So T3 is equal to Now the temperature, we have to this express this mass of air as a volume when the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius and pressure is 1.02 bar. So the temperature T3 is 20 degrees Celsius. We convert this into Kelvin, that is a 273 is equal to 293 Kelvin. Pressure P3 is equal to 1.02 bar, that we have to convert 1.02 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. So this mass m is equal to 88.91. ಇದೇನಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ನ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಕೈತಿ, ವಿ ನೋ ದಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡೋದಂದ್ರೆ P3 V3 is equal to mR T3. Here P3 we know that, V3 we don't know. V3 we have to calculate. M we know that is 88.91. R is the gas constant, we know that value 287. T3 we know that. So we'll take this P3 to the RHS side. So it becomes V3 is equal to mR T3 divided by P3. So M is the mass of that air pumped is 88.91, R is 287 and T3 is 293 divided by P3 is 1.02 into 10 raised to 5. So 73.3 meter cube. So this is the V3, that this you can observe that express the quantity as a volume at a pressure. So this we have studied, express the quantity as a volume at a pressure of 1.2. So this we have calculated, that is a V3. So here simple in this problem what you can understand that one vessel, so one vessel ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ V1, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಏರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್, ಅದ್ರೊಳಗಿರೋ ಏರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ P1 ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಏರ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತೈತಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಸ್ ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ P1 V1 mR T1 ದಿಂದ ಅದ್ರ ಮಾಸ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ವೆಸಲ್ಗೆ ಅಡಿಷ್ನಲ್ ಏರ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಡಿಷ್ನಲ್ ಏರ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಕೈತಿ, ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ರೈಸ್ ಆಕೈತಿ 60 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೆಲ್ವಿನ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ 30 ಬಾರ್ಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ ಪರ್ ಮಿನಿಟ್ P2 ಮತ್ತು T2 ಗೊತ್ತಾಕವ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾವು we have to find out that mass we have to find out, that is a m2. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೂ V2 ಸೇಮ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್, ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಏನೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇರೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಏನಕ್ಕೈತಿ, ಅಡಿಷ್ನಲ್ ಏರ್ ಪಂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ P2 ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ 30 ಬಾರ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ 287 ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ P2 V2 mR2 T2 ದಿಂದ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ, m2 ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ V2 ಸೇಮ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ V1 is equal to V2. ಅಡಿಷ್ನಲ್ ಏರ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಏನೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಆ ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏರ್ ಪಂಪ್ಡ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಮಾಸ್ M1 ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಡಿಷ್ನಲ್ ಏರ್ ನಾವು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದ M2. ಸೊ M2 ಒಳಗೆ M1 ಇಫ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಇಟ್ ನಮಗೇನು ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ, ಮಾಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಮಾಸ್ ಏನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ 20 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ 1.2 ಬಾರ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ 1.02 ಬಾರ್. ಸೊ ಇದು 20 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್ ನಾವು ಕೆಲ್ವಿನ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ, 1.02 ಬಾರ್ ಇದನ್ನು ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ we have converted into ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ ಪರ್ ಮೀಟರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. ಸೊ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ T3 P3 ಮತ್ತು R ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತೈತಿ, M ಗೊತ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ V3 ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಎಷ್ಟಂದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ 10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ November-December 2018. Next problem number 7, that is April-May 2019, 5 marks. So it is one more question, so we will discuss here. So 1 liter of hydrogen at 0 degree Celsius is suddenly compressed to one of its volume. So we are compressing 1 liter of hydrogen which is at 0 degree Celsius. 0 degree Celsius hydrogen ಐತಿ, that we are compressing to one of its volume. Then we have to determine the temperature of gas if the ratio of two specific heat for hydrogen is 1 point, that is a Cp divided by Cv is equal to 1.4. So the ratio of specific heat is given and volume 1 liter he is given, that is 1 divided by 1000, that is 1 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter cube, 1 into 10 raised to 3 minus meter cube. So V2 is nothing but, and it is suddenly compressed to 1/2 its volume. So 1/2 its volume is nothing but 1 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 2, that is a 1 by 2. V2 is equal to, so V1 is 1 liter, 1 divided by 1000, so that gives 10 raised to minus 3, it has to come there. So V2 is equal to V1 divided by, that is, it is compressed to 1/2 its volume. So V1 divided by V2 is equal to V2. So 1 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 2, that becomes 0.5 into 10 raised to 3 meter cube. Gamma, that is specific heat, ratio of specific heat is 1.4. So T1 is equal to 0 degree Celsius to 73 is given. So we know that T1 plus T2, so it is a constant pressure process. So by using that constant pressure PVT relation in the constant pressure process, so T1 by T2 is equal to V2 by V1 raised to gamma minus 1. So then we'll get 0.5 into 10 raised to 3, 1 into 10 raised to 3, that 1.4 minus 1, 0.752. So T2 is equal to T1 divided by 0.752. So T2 will get 360.16. So this is the question, it has been asked in the first unit as well as in the second unit. So this again we will have study in the second unit, because it is a problem based on that process, thermodynamic process, but some major times he is asked in the first unit. Anyhow, we have discussed here. So when you know that thermodynamic working of the thermodynamic process, that is in that thermodynamic process you are knowing the temperature, pressure and volume relationship, how this T1 by T2 is equal to V2 by V1 gamma raised to 1, that relations you are studying in that second unit, that is the thermodynamic process. So there again this problem will discuss, but major times he is asked in the first unit. This